gotta do this. Alright, y'all won't have to blur that out. Alright. Who the heck is this? Hold on. Okay. You messed up. You messed up. What happened? You messed up, bro. My bad. Look, I'm working now. Look. No. I can't see that. Wait, you're not on live, are you? No, I see it. There go my baby. And you missed it though. We was in the.
Let the band play.
Aye. Whichever bitch want it, come get it. I got it. I'm giving out work, come apply. These bitches talking that shit and ain't saying my name, and I can't keep just letting it fly. They gotta sub, they gotta tweet, they gotta go get they hunger for me. If I was still doing broke shit,
balance in favor of fair use.
he got a big crush on you. So okay. So anyway,
You could just tell me like, hey, you're pull it up.
Okay, I could.
Well, I was molested for a long time.
Wait, what?
Yeah, from my stepdad.
From your stepdad?
Someone I heavily respect on this app wanted me to join Atlanta Street Interviews X-Files. And I did, because I have supported Marcus in the past. They wanted me to see what the content was and to hear my opinion, since Marcus is someone that I have been on panel with. He's supported me, I've supported him. And I want to acknowledge that I have supported him. But I do not agree with specific content that I am seeing. And I just want to keep it about standards and not personal attacks. Leave room for accountability and just address some of the things that I did see. The real issue I see isn't drama at all. It's credibility. So I took some time to decide if I even wanted to address this or stay silent. Because what a person does in their personal time is not content all the time. However, when they platform it, I do have to agree with some of the subscribers where it definitely is up for discussion. If it's used as content, then you make yourself the content. So I have to agree with that. I genuinely believe the behavior does cross a line. I had to ask myself, would I call this out if it were anyone else? If I stay silent, how does my audience feel, since someone that is subscribed that I heavily respect brought it to my attention? And the biggest thing is this a pattern or a one-off mistake? What I'm reacting to is the content from the Atlanta Street Interviews X-Files and a interviewee by the name of Kelsey, who is 29. She was 28 at the time of her initial interview 1 year ago. She has 3 children. She said there is 2 girls and 1 boy. And she is a part of the content on the X-Files. And I have to say that watching this video was very disappointing. And just follow this because I do think it is kind of predatory, but that's just my opinion.
I see it. There go my baby. And you missed it though. We was in the car. You could have got an even better shot. But I'm working now. I'm interviewing, so I gotta talk to you later. Yep. All right.
So I want to be clear and ask a very consistent question. Where is the line with street interviews? I'm not trying to cancel anyone. That's not at all the goal. I have defended this style of content before, of street interviews, but I've not supported videos that make me question ethics. standards, boundaries. I am clearly thinking, not reacting. I am a reaction channel, but this is not a reactionary response. What is ethical street content? At what point does documenting poverty become exploiting it? Is consent enough when someone is addicted or desperate or vulnerable? For me personally, once vulnerability shows up, once you know someone is vulnerable, people are being used for shock value or entertainment. That's where I'm a little uncomfortable. I can't defend content that feels exploitive. And I'm only speaking for myself. This content made me a little uncomfortable. I don't agree with this direction. Hope creators in this space think carefully about impact. This isn't tearing anyone down. It's not a beef. I'm speaking publicly because I've defended this person before on this channel, and I want to be consistent. If I defend something, I'll defend it. If I disagree, I'll say it. Access or shout outs will never determine my opinion.
So Kelsey.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. So the point is that you have an outfit that you wear when people come to you.
Yeah.
So can we see that outfit?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so this is what wow, that's the whole thing?
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
Okay, so you gonna put that on for us and let us see what you look like in that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pause it and let you do that. Okay, wow. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to blur this on YouTube. It's okay. It's gonna have to get blurred anyway. Can you turn?
There is something that we don't talk about enough. We discuss exploitation, abuse, or trauma often. And that's something that actually does something to a person. And we never quite discuss how it changes a person's view and understanding of intimacy. When a child experiences sexual abuse, as Kelsey explained to Marcus that she experienced, it doesn't just create a bad memory. It can fundamentally distort the architectural mind and thought process of a person, how they understand connections, safety, power, their own body, and sex itself. Let's be for real. And that distortion alone can allow them in their adulthood, in little subtle ways, and sometimes devastating ones, to engage in sexual promiscuity or withdraw from sex altogether. And listening to this interview on the X-File side, after hearing her initial interview, was heavily discouraging.
Okay, so this is what wow, that's the whole thing?
Yeah, this is the whole thing.
Okay, so you gonna put that on for us and let us see what you look like in that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pause it and let you do that. Okay, wow. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to blur this on YouTube. It's okay. It's gonna have to get blurred anyway. Can you turn around and whoa. That's heavyweight. That's heavyweight. So I see why you got 700 people who subscribed to your OF, okay? So, all
I
right.
like it when anyway.
You say what?
I like it when I sit on the couch. And there was
That's what they like?
yeah, that's what they like.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. I'm slightly distracted, but I'm going to conduct this interview. Okay, so.
I don't want to over talk about how your mind and brain deal with and process abuse. I'm sure all of us understand that when we experience trauma, especially early in life, when we are, corrupted by abuse, how our brains process trauma and the desire to survive. We are wired for survival. And survival adaptations are powerful. Kelsey has already stated that her doing S work was never hard for her because she disassociates. A child who experiences sexual abuse may begin to associate attention with sexualization. And that's what I see watching this interaction. They may equate closeness with obligation. I owe you. This is because this is what you want. They may confuse control with affection. Yeah, he hit me because he loves me. That's how he acts because he loves me. And when he's not beating me, it's because he doesn't love me. The nervous system does not process it as this is wrong. And I am so disappointed in Kelsey having 3 children, 10, 8, and 5, that are in need of a mother.
Dates and stuff, you can just get by just, like you say, just sitting on the couch and playing with yourself or whatever like that. But then eventually transition out of that. You see what I'm saying? So you transition.
I found this part of the dialogue heavily concerning. Kelsey just referenced that she no longer is really wanting to do sex work. She's wanting to do something else with her life. And unfortunately, I think those statements and desires to do something else went right over the interviewer's head. And he began to ask her about why not just do OF, OnlyFans, and the benefit, pros and cons, even though she just said she does not want to use her body any longer. Knowing her trauma from her initial interview, it was cringe AF because healthy intimacy is built on mutual vulnerability, right? Safety, emotional reciprocity, choices. Everything she's been through and is saying tells me that her early exposure to sex was rooted in a power imbalance of coercion. He said she blackmailed her stepfather. She used it as a tool at some point. Sex can become something entirely different. It can become a bargaining tool, which is what she's using it as. A method of control, a way to gain validation, or a means of emotional detachment. All things that I feel like Kelsey is in full display of, right? Why would OnlyFans even be an option when we see that she has an unhealthy sexual background?
I ask these questions because I know that there are some people that have these questions, okay?
Right.
And it may come off as disgusting to some of the audience. I'm sorry if it does, but just I'm doing my best, okay? So I'm gonna ask, because it went on for so long, what were your thoughts with this? In other words, at any point did you kind of like enjoy it?
There was a point with my stepdad where I started like blackmailing him.
So you kind of turned it on him.
Yeah.
Okay, blackmailing him and to do what?
To get me off of punishment, to give me things I wanted.
And what would you do for that?
I'd let him touch me or put lotion on me. Things like that.
Okay, so he never wanted to like penetrate you or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Specifically though, I'm talking about as far as Chris goes.
Right, okay.
Did you enjoy that with him?
Yeah.
You did?
It got to a point where I did.
Okay. Was it ever a point to where like you were the person that kind of wanted to do it?
No.
Okay, so he was always the aggressor.
Right.
But I guess at a certain point, because you had grew up this way, right? Because it had been happening for so long, because when you did tell your mom what her response was, I guess and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm imagining that you probably just resigned yourself to it happening.
Right. yeah, that's how it happened.
Okay. Okay.
Respectfully, I heavily disagree with this statement. Clearly, she sees sex as a strategy and not a connection, a transaction, not closeness, not a relationship. S work is never going to be a good idea for this young lady. And the fact that she has expressed a desire to stop, that should have been encouraged. That doesn't mean that anybody who engages with her is being manipulative because she is of age. And when medicated, I mean, even with the cognitive disability, she's able to make decisions, right? But intimacy based on her looks like it's her blueprint for intimacy, right? Um, she's clearly been damaged before. So before she had the ability to consent and understand, there are long-term effects. And it's clear she has 3 children. There's clearly a difficulty with forming secure attachments because you should be with your children. Clearly, S has become a tool and not an expression of intimacy for Kelsey. Her repeated involvement in exploitive dynamics, emotional numbness during physical intimacy, because she says she had no problem doing S work, none. At one point in this interview, she gets down on her knees, and to me, it is a display. It is the personification, literally, of her seeking validation through sexual attention, right? Clearly, it sees when Marcus tells her that many men have contacted him about her. He sees this and confuses this with the desire of worth. I mean, I don't want to sit here and just be culturally blind, and I feel like what complicates this further is how society often reacts. Um, I feel like Kelsey is someone who has a display of sexual behavior, right? And people judge it. But there is a very interesting background and 3 dynamics that I'm sure play a pivotal role. The bipolar, hypersexual, the lestation, the molestation, we know what that is, and the drugs.
Different men inside of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're not always different, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. It is something I'll think about.
Yeah, I mean, because if the OF is popping, like if the OF wasn't popping, then okay, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
But if the OF is popping, then you're able to make, decent enough money per month. Then yeah, that would be my thought process. Like, okay, well, now I can transition out of actually physically dealing with guys and just go to just being more online presence, and then eventually transition out of that.
Okay. See, it takes me a little bit to process things like that. Especially when because I'm a human, I'm a creature of habit. And
Right.
I have been doing this. And
Right.
I just started the OnlyFans, so.
So you don't know if that's even going to be like a long-term sustainable thing or anything like that. Whereas with this stuff, with the dates, the physical dates, you know that front and back, and you know kind of what to expect, how to do it, all the nuances.
Right.
Okay, I get that. So, okay, so let's get into some fun.
This part of the interview also was concerning compared to the X-Files that we see. And I want to be very careful with my wording, and that's why I keep saying because I want to make sure that I voice this in a clinical, trauma-informed kind of way, that I'm being very sensitive with this subject, because it is very important that I choose my words wisely. But there's a deeply misunderstood aspect of sexual abuse that most people do not talk about. The silence is very loud, and the silence will create a level of shame to the abused person. Sometimes a person being molested may experience physical arousal. In some cases, they may even orgasm, right? And when that happens, survivors often ask themselves a devastating question. Did I want it? Did I want this? Okay. The answer can still be no. Even though your body gave off a physical response, the answer can still be no. The body is not the same as consent. Okay? The human body has an automatic psychological response. Okay? Almost like a reflex. But blood flow increases, nerves activate, hormones start to release. These responses are mechanical. They are not moral. They are not intentional. They are not desire. A lot of abused people tend to begin to feel as though their bodies betrayed them because it had a physical response that the victim may have not wanted. A child's nervous system is especially reactive, right? Because it is still developing. If stimulation occurs, the body may respond automatically. And not just in children, this happens in adult victims. Even while their mind feels fear, confusion, disassociation, the body can do something different. The body will register sensation. The brain can register threat. Both can happen at the same time. So the answer to that question that Kelsey does not understand is maybe you didn't want it. Just because your body responded, that does not equate that you wanted it, that I desired this. Before, I wanted to circle back around when we talk about the brain's ability to process trauma and attempt to prepare itself for survival. This is one of those examples. A victim can easily, in a survival strategy, say, I enjoyed it because it makes me feel safer than acknowledging the fact that you are powerless, that you were helpless, and that you were taken advantage of. A victim should never feel like if my body responded, then I'm responsible. If I orgasm, I must have wanted it. If part of me felt something, then it wasn't abuse. All of that is false. It is abuse. I will be recording this video in parts because I don't want it to be too long. But just in closing for part one, this is why I feel like more people need to have the conversations about exploitation and molestation and rape in crisis. You know, these conversations have got to include some form of education about trauma and psychology. Because watching this, I was heavily disappointed, just being honest. Silence allows shame to grow, understanding reduces it. This made me extremely sad because thus far, all of the videos that I see on the X-Files are of melanated women, minority melanated women. And it just deeply saddens me, to be honest. Kelsey is a beautiful girl in need of some intense therapy to allow her to process past traumas so that she can show up for her children. If someone experienced a physical response during abuse, like Kelsey says that she has, that does not make them complicit. It does not make them broken. It does not mean they enjoyed it. And Kelsey does not understand that. It means her nervous system responded automatically, okay? There's so many things that I feel like definitely needs to be said to this young lady. The most important thing is that she understands that responsibility lies with the person who chose to violate her boundaries as a child. responsibility lies with her mother if she was informed and did not intervene. Never should it lie with you, Kelsey, the child whose body just reacted. So I will see you guys at part 2 because this interview was mad crazy.